Now at this point I'm going to put an eyeball, or put two eyeballs in here as subtools. So I'll go to the light box, go to the tool menu, and I'm just going to come over here and grab the polysphere. Double click that and it'll add a polysphere into the tool menu. I can go back over to my bust now, open the subtool menu, and go to Append, and select that polysphere. It's going to come in rather large. Select that, go to Transpose Scale, scale it down. You might want to turn on transparency at this point. And then we'll use the Move tool, the Transpose Move that is, to actually move this into position. I've just turned off Ghost Transparency so I can see the outlines a little bit better. I'm going to scale this down. There we go. Now I'm going to select the head here again. This is going to allow me to move the eyelids around the form of the sphere. You see that lower lid there? I want to pull these out so they're wrapping around the sphere of the eyeball. I'm going to drag a show marquee just around the eye area here. That way we can actually work from the back. Turn off transparency. Now you can see we've got an eyeball placed. And we've got the lids starting to wrap around, but I do want to do a little bit more work on conforming those lids to the shape of the eyeball itself. Now to mirror this eyeball across, make sure the eyeball subtool is selected. Go to Z Plugin, Subtool Master, and click the Subtool Master button. It'll bring up this window here. We've got the eyeball subtool selected, so we're going to click Mirror. We're going to have it merge into one subtool and mirror across the x-axis. Click OK, and there we go. We've now got both of our eyeballs in place. So I'm going to go ahead and save my work. I'm working the lower ridge of the eye socket and then bringing the muscle striations down from the cheekbone towards the mouth here. Really just working the shape of that cheekbone and eye socket. Using the Move brush now to further adjust the brow line. Try to add a little bit more of a sense of malicious intent or aggression to the head, which is actually something that comes out later on. He's not quite this aggressive by the end. Masking out the eye area itself, so then we can feather that mask and then affect the brow line without affecting the eyelids. Since we've taken the trouble to place those eyelids, we want to be able to work the brow ridge independently of them. If we pull the brow ridge out forward, it's going to cast a darker shadow on the eye itself and give us a more aggressive look. Now by hiding part of the model, we can actually sculpt from the back side and work the placement of those eyelids. Now moving the eyeball itself forward. You don't want it to sit too far back in the skull. At least for this character, I don't want it to be sunken in there. Now, with transparency on, I'm conforming the eyelids to that sphere. And then
going in with the move brush and just gently changing the curvature of the lower lid, and then bringing the forehead forward, and then coming down here, and using the move brush, I'm going to continue to adjust the jawline. See that I'm moving around constantly. I'm always moving and changing different parts of the model. Now this stage I'm back to the nose using the clay tubes brush. And like I said, I'm still experimenting with forms here, looking for interesting shapes, and I'm knuckling the brow again here between the eyes, giving them sort of a pronounced brow structure there. Maybe it looks, maybe it's a subcutaneous growth there, like you might get on an animal that bashes, bumps its head into another animal. Sometimes you get those crests in gorillas. So maybe there's some sort of structure under the skin there. Now here I'm using the polygroups to adjust the ears. And you see I was very quickly able to isolate that ear as a result of that polygroup. So it's a really nice thing to have when you're sculpting, are these polygroups. They really do make life a lot easier when you're trying to do things in tight areas like this. And here I'm going to use the transpose rotate to rotate the ears out a bit. Make sure that I mask out the jaw polygroup.
At this stage, I want to shape the head a little bit more. I want to give some cranial mass back here, so there's sort of a tapering egg form to the skull. I'm going to give the angle of the jaw here a little more prominence. And I'm going to experiment with bringing the face out a bit, like that. And I don't want the head to sort of curve back so drastically there around the ears. So I'm going to try and widen this. I'm going to mask out the middle portion of the head, the nose bridge, and I'm going to spread these eyes. That just looks a little too alien at that point. I'm going to undo that. I believe I'm going to spread this out one more time.